You know, you're a scientist, you just do your own thing, but here you are finding that civilization is under threat because of what's happening, because of these scientific advances. And so, what do you do? I'm Dr. Holz. I'm a professor at the University of Chicago. I'm in the physics department, the astronomy and astrophysics department, the Enrico Fermi Institute, and the Kavli Institute for Cosmological Physics. So I joined the board just over a year ago, and of course it's been fascinating being part of these discussions, a little terrifying. It's a very diverse group of people. I think the fact that there's such a range of expertise gives us a lot more insight than any one of us would have individually. And so the clock is, our way of symbolizing all these subtleties, all the things we discuss at these board meetings. There's so many different things to consider. We could write a 100-page tome and ask everyone to study that. Then no one would be able to sleep. So instead of doing that, we try to make something that's a little more succinct. And the clock is our version of that. And so it's 2 minutes to midnight, which is very close as it's ever been. And it's still 2 minutes to midnight. We're not making progress. We're not rewinding the clock. And that's terrifying. We can't afford to be here. It's just too close. We need to turn the hands back. Of all the things we're talking about, so you can think of, climate change. Maybe it originates with the steam engine, and what was cutting-edge science back then is developing these sorts of technologies, mechanization, and the need to, understanding electricity, and then needing to generate electricity, and that's, you just run that forward, and over the course of a century, now we have climate change. Nuclear is a similar story. Obviously scientists played a major role there, and it has potential benefits of, carbon-free energy, and the ability to really transform society, which is something scientists were very excited about, but also this flip side of weapons and nuclear annihilation. So the World Wide Web, when it was first brought up, it was for collaboration on high-energy physics experiments, and it's had a lot of broader impact and really disseminating information and allowing for the free flow of information, which is crucial not only in the scientific community but in broader society. So that seemed like an unalloyed positive. So maybe here's an example of something where we've really had impact, and it's something to be celebrated, and we don't have to worry about these terrible repercussions. But in the last few years especially, it's become clear that there's a flip side here as well, and that what we call information warfare, these cyber issues are profound. It's not, that fake news in and of itself is the decline of civilization. That sounds like, oh, you're making a big fuss, it's not that big a deal. But its impact on our ability to address the real threats, that's where you get worried. And it is having impact, and you see it every day. And now the discussion around climate change is being impacted by this idea that it's fake news and it's not real. And that the scientists, you can't trust the scientists. You just trust the leader who says it's not happening because, I looked out the window and it was cold today, therefore we don't have to worry about this. I mean, if that's the level of discourse, we're in deep, deep trouble. Because if we can't agree on the threat, if we can't understand the threat, how are we going to address it? And it's this state that we call the new abnormal. It's becoming normalized, and civilization can't function if we can't agree on the basic facts. As a cosmologist, I spend my days, fully aware of how insignificant we are in some sense. If we were to end civilization and blow ourselves up or render our planet inhospitable, which we're certainly easily on track to do, the universe it would go on, it wouldn't even notice. Nothing would change. And that gives some perspective. I mean, it's very humbling, but it also is, in some sense, it's enabling or empowering because it says it's up to us. And, we need to make the difference and we need to step up, and we can. The history shows that we can address great challenges. Although it's as scary as it's ever been, there's still time. And so the real message here is, we can't be complacent. We need to keep perspective. But it's on all of us, every person, to engage and to try to make a difference.